brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. Thanks for joining us today. We're glad you're here for Problem Child 2. Are you guys excited about this?
More excited than I initially thought I would be.
Wait, who is this that's talking right now? I didn't know these people's names.
Who are you?
Who is this?
I am either the Phantom or the Shadow.
I'm Justin Camps, you guys. Sorry about that. Who's here?
Tyler Hymanson.
And?
Elizabeth Helly.
Welcome again. We're back. I hope you guys liked the last episode. This has been pretty fun with these movies.
It has been.
Before we dive in, I know Tyler, you said you had seen this movie before?
Upon watching this movie, I realized that I have seen this movie a lot.
Okay.
I remembered a staggering amount of this.
Yikes.
And really, I think, loved this movie as a kid.
And
I think it became clear to you guys within the first couple minutes that I have seen this movie before because the Pepto-Bismol scene that I was convinced was in Problem Child 1 was actually in Problem Child 2 and turns out is not a plot point at all. And for some reason, I imagined it being a major plot point. My child mind.
Confirmed.
Yeah. It was just like a bunch of them eating it. Well, I mean,
because they ate crappy food and then they
on their road trip across Los Angeles.
It was like a 2-second thing.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen this movie, and maybe before we dive in, let's just give a quick background on like who's directing, who's back, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So we've got a new director. No more Dennis Dugan.
Yep.
The new guy's name is some guy. The new guy's name is Brian Levant.
Yep.
Who has done lots of movies, actually.
Lots of family movies.
Snow Dogs.
He, of course, started a series that I'm sure we will one day cover. The Beethoven series.
Beethoven,
he did do the Beethoven series. That makes a lot of sense.
He's got some other sequels in his pocket as well.
He did the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas.
Ooh.
He brought us the majesty of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad at the holidays with Turbo Man and Jingle All the Way.
Yep.
Oh, I can get my friend one day. My friend's in that movie. Oh, we can interview him.
You're friends with Jake Lloyd?
No.
That'd be crazy.
The son. I don't know. I've never seen it, but he's like a main character in the movie.
The writers are back. John Ritter's back. The kid is back. And let's save a couple other things until we get into the movie.
My favorite character is back.
Which, why don't we dive right into Problem Child 2?
Welcome to Mortville. A great place to live. A great place to play. A great place to raise a kid. But not this kid. That's right. Bad to the bone. Junior's back. And this time, you little psycho. He has a problem. Bad to the bone.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us. She is insane.
She's usually responsible for her share of the action.
All right, you guys, that trailer is hilarious. It's got like the Problem Child's theme song in it.
Oh no!
Bad to the bone. Every 5 seconds, bad to the bone.
Now a ringtone.
Yeah.
You should cut that into the podcast at random points.
Oh my god.
When we start
Maybe
getting
I will.
really bad.
And you'll see like everyone can imagine us like getting really angry and plotting some stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill a man in a gas fire.
Yes. That's what I was gonna say. Like, so overall, the pranks in this movie, I feel like almost every single one would have killed the person involved.
They're
Could
heightened.
have.
They're heightened.
Well, and we should also mention that the first movie was PG. This movie is PG-13.
Yes.
Apparently, it was rated R, and they had to go out and remove a clip of Junior saying fuckface and some other bad language, and they got it down to
pussy whipped, I think
PG-13.
he
Oh,
also
pussy.
was
Okay.
I mean, there's still some bad language in this movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they got it down to PG-13. And yes, his pranks are much more dangerous and deadly.
I think Junior at some point says like, "This bitch needs to
No,
Yeah.
bitch must pay is what he said.
He oftentimes refers to
I
this
don't
one
know.
character as a bitch. Just straight up. I was like,
So I guess
whoa, where's
that
the
wasn't
misogyny?
enough for them to go rated R.
Yeah,
So.
Nope.
yeah.
So I guess we should start. The movie starts out with a road trip montage because
It starts out with them
Cold River.
Yeah, leaving Cold River, and they do the full like "so long, Stink Town," like,
And they run over the side on the way out, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck this place, woo!"
which weirdly, in the vein of the sequels, like does start them off kind of both in where they were in their character arcs, and then in that movie, like I do give it respect for like they're in a loving relationship. Like he's being a good dad, he's being a good son. John Ritter's not being the nice guy that he was.
Yep.
Like to a fault and so it's like, oh, like they didn't just throw everything out. They almost did start it exactly where you wanted where they left those characters off.
Yeah. And somehow John Ritter had a quickie divorce from Flo. Yeah, that was her name.
Yeah, I don't even know if I don't even
She
think
might
she's
have died.
mentioned.
They do mention no more stupid wife, no more dumb neighbors, no more mean dad, and they drive away. So yes, Flo's out of the picture, and John Ritter is single and ready to mingle.
And all the ladies are obsessed with him immediately.
Yeah.
'cause-
Yeah. After they go on their road trip, that prompts we can talk a little bit more about the Pepto-Bismol because it was such a big thing at the first.
So in my mind,
Such a small thing.
in my mind, in the first movie, the kid was obsessed with drinking Pepto-Bismol.
What?
And then in the second movie, at the beginning of the movie, the dad gives in and drinks Pepto-Bismol with him. That was my memory.
Sounds like you have
of
a
these
complex
two
about
movies.
Pepto-Bismol.
I guess so, but that was my memory of these two movies. So when I saw the actual Pepto-Bismol scene, I was like, I have a weird hang-up about Pepto-Bismol.
The
apparently.
Pepto-Bismol scene
That's
is
weird.
literally like it's this road trip montage of showing like how far they're going across the country, and they go to like a Randy's Donuts, they go to Randy's Donuts in LA, like a Tasty Freeze, like random other things that are outside, and so they basically just show their road trip as every fast food place they stop at.
and so then
They
have
stop
to,
at a Checkers, which I believe
Right.
is the one over by
Glendale.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think it is the exact same one.
Interesting. I didn't
Nice.
notice that. I was kind of like, montage.
So they
I'm gonna look
moved
at
to,
my phone.
What's the new? Oh, Mortville is the new
Yeah.
town.
Mortville, home of the Love Rock.
The Love
And it's
Rock.
the divorcee capital of,
Of
the
the
world.
When I saw, but this is the moment where I was like, oh yeah, Problem Child 2, I remember this. When I saw the Love Rock, I was like, I know exactly what that is, and I know exactly what happens with it. Oh god, I've seen this movie a lot of times.
Dang. That's crazy.
So every divorcee mom is like sees John Ritter coming down the street and is like, oh god, they immediately want to hit on him, and
What
they
a
all
hunk.
bring
I believe the
baked
word
goods.
beefcake is uttered.
Yeah.
Beefcake, yeah. So they all bring various baked goods to the door, like, immediately. And
A woman fingers a pie.
She's like, I brought you a cherry
Pie,
pie.
and then like 2 fingers, and then like, mwah.
Licks it really super awkwardly and like tries to wink. And it was gross.
Yeah, it's weird.
Um.
And then the next woman has muffins.
So yeah. But there's like a huge line of people. But anyways, the new annoying neighbor dude bursts in and is like, oh my god, there's another man in town. Let's hang out. Come to my barbecue. And they go to the barbecue and we get our first problem child prank.
We're gonna use that music cue less than the actual movie does.
Oh my god.
And you're already sick of it.
So the first time the first time it happened, I was like, oh man, this is the moment where in the theaters people were probably starting to cheer because like the neighbor guy was being super douchebaggy.
He sucked to an incredible degree.
Yeah, and Junior is like clenching his fists and the song starts to play and he's like building his powers like he's on Dragon Ball Z or something. The wind starts like blowing and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
The mischief.
And I imagine people in the theaters, like, if they actually like the movie, we're probably like, yeah, fuck him up, yeah.
Whenever I saw this movie, I'm sure I was.
So what does he do?
Well,
The only thing everyone would do.
he is the douchebag dude got like some sort of like fancy grill, and he was like, it cost me a whole paycheck or whatever. And so what Junior does is this thing has 3 or 4 propane tanks attached to it.
Yep.
And so he turns the gas to maximum. That's the only way I can describe it, because it's like that's not how a grill works. This movie has
He fully opens
A
the
lot
valve.
of fake dials.
a lot of fake
Yeah.
dials so that Junior can turn things up to 11.
Yeah. Multiple times this
He
happened.
turned it up to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens is the guy's trying to he's opened up all the gas. The guy's trying to light this grill, and the matches, because despite the amount of gas that there is, the matches are failing to light it. And so he ends up reaching his hand all the way into the grill. He has his face on the grill.
Like,
Which they make,
would
a
ever
big,
do
they
that?
make a big deal of playing that up, and then cut wide to a house-sized explosion.
yeah. Where he would be fully dead.
And then he flies into the pool, and he basically has, the Wile E. Coyote smut on his face.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
Which does play into the thing that you liked about the first one, that it was like a Looney Tunes heightened thing.
Yeah.
It's on the record.
This one,
That you said you liked it. You said you liked it.
This one went too far, okay? I don't know.
so
Just because, was anyone, about to die in any of the pranks in the first movie?
Yes, they were being shot at while he was driving the car.
Well, that wasn't a prank. That was like an
that wasn't
actual
what it was. His
action
pranks
scene.
are all definitely heightened, and he is also
He wasn't like, I'm gonna kill this dude.
he's also
Oh, and then
becoming
going nuts. He
like
survived at the end.
an expert in explosives and wiring and electricity. Like he
He did have a bag of fake grenades.
Yeah, but this time he gets a bunch of exposed wire
Yeah.
and like creates a, well, that's later. But
I would like to
anyway.
see a version of this movie, actually, I was thinking about this, where he actually is killing all the people. And it's like a horror movie where, like, most of the movie is the same, where they're like, oh my god, Junior, you gotta stop doing this stuff. But he's actually killing the people that he's, like, annoyed at.
Well,
but
that's
they never
like sort
notice.
of, that's like, that was one of the possibilities for the original movie that got shot down.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah.
Like a comedy where the kid is actually killing people. I
A
don't know.
murder child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
So,
rebooting.
John Ritter has to take Junior to his first day of school. Junior doesn't want to go to school.
He'd rather eat a turd.
Yeah. John Ritter pulls the entire passenger seat out of the car just to get Junior out of the car. He goes to the principal's office, and lo and behold, Gilbert
Screaming
Gottfried,
McScreamerton.
Mr. Peabody, has pulled a Mr. Feeney and somehow transferred to Junior's new school as a principal.
I do kind of like how like they're not usually. He's like, I don't even know how it works. Like they're kind of calling it out in terms of like, this is, I'm just here because I'm I'm here. It's
Did you guys notice that he had like blood splattered office supplies?
Yes.
So
what was that about?
I
think it was a recut. I think there was a prank that happened, and that happened afterwards.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
And they couldn't reset.
It was
they
really
couldn't
weird.
reset the room. That's exactly what I thought happened.
I feel like this is maybe a good point to talk about just the production design of this movie was so like over the top and artsy. Like the first one didn't really have any of that, and this one, everything is very like stylized, and like Gilbert Gottfried's desk is made entirely out of pencils.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the entire town and the neighborhood and their house especially,
is fucking crazy.
So I'm not like an art history expert, but I looked it up, and it's all this Piet Mondrian style art.
Oh, yeah.
The squares with the white, yellow, blue, and red. Everything is primary colors.
That was Dumour's, like her. That's her whole aesthetic.
Her thing, but also their house, and also that restaurant that John Ritter takes one of his dates to, was all in that art style, and the whole movie is primary colors, like over the top stylized. Yeah. So yeah, Gilbert Gottfried's desk is made entirely out of these like interlocking pencil tiles, and like the decor is just like insane, like, and the classrooms anyway. But Gilbert Gottfried wants Junior out of the school as soon as possible, so he immediately advances him from the 3rd grade to the 6th grade.
Smart move.
So Junior gets to the class of like 12-year-old kids.
Yeah, where he can be taught by the sweatiest man.
The sweatiest man on the planet, and then he meets a nemesis.
Yes.
One of many in this movie.
Yes. This guy named Murph, who
Is like 30.
Yeah, he looks like a full-grown man, and he's like answering the really easy math problems incorrectly on purpose, I think.
I think that he's dumb.
Math.
He's actually dumb, but he's made himself popular by not trying.
Right.
And so he's just like, whatever. And like, he's like a 30-year-old dude, like he's art directed to be the most disgusting person on the planet.
Yeah.
And the teacher is really pathetic, and he is the principal from the Back to the Future movies.
That's correct.
But he is no longer like, he's like
He's
emasculated. Yes, is the word I'm trying to say.
He's moved to Damascus.
Yeah, he's emasculated. Like at one point,
domesticated.
He's crying a lot. He's showing weird slides about civics. Anyways,
the civics thing didn't make him weird. The guy was just like a teacher.
Yeah, it was strange. Okay, so
we get another problem child prank.
That's right. Well, yeah, I mean...
Well, this is like mostly self-defense.
I mean, Murph is like, basically, Junior gets frustrated, and like, this will get into like more of what this movie is, I think, or what they're trying to do, which is nerds against like the world type thing. But like, Murph is just this jock, and Junior gets super frustrated that he can't get the math problem. And he's like, 5! The answer's 5, like, you dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then Murph's like, how dare you besmirch my dumb honor. And then...
he chases him around, and he claps like... erasers in his face, and then somehow tapes him horizontally onto a chalkboard.
Which you get like a crazy 180 Dutch angle thing, and then a zoom out when he does it to reveal...
This is Junior. Junior does these things to Murph, if that's not clear.
We also didn't explain that Murph is like a gigantic person, so like...
Yeah, he's like 300 pounds.
For Junior to be able to do this, I mean, the teacher must have helped or something, I don't know.
He has satanic powers.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I think at this point it just kind of abruptly cuts away, and we find that John Ritter is getting a loan at the bank, and from the upper level of the bank, the owner of this bank sees him and decides that that's going to be her next husband, and they do
husband 7.
Yeah, they do a quick showing of all. I don't know who would put up their wedding photos of all their ex-husbands on the wall, but it shows
they were hilarious.
It shows that she's been married like 7 times in like a haunted mansion style. Like, this is every husband,
and they're all like John Ritter in like different costumes.
It's all John Ritter looks like it is John Ritter. As and one's like a military person, a hippie. I don't remember the other ones, but each one was a highly stylized version of John Ritter. Yeah, this lady,
it's like she fucked her way through the John Ritter only version of the Village People. Yeah.
That's true.
That's exactly what it is, and they took a portrait of it each time.
And she completely changes her style every time to fit the man style.
LaWanda, right?
LaWanda
Dumore.
Lorraine
played by Lorraine Newman.
No, I was going to say Kristen Wiig, but...
Yeah, no, it is. It very much is.
It's basically one of her characters from SNL. This was one of the things I didn't like, because it was another, like, a lot of the stuff in this movie just was, like, too stupid and didn't make any sense.
It sort of seemed like an extraneous character completely. Like, they could have found a way to...
why doesn't that be John Ritter? It doesn't make sense.
They wanted somebody to be so unlikable that you were rooting for Junior.
Okay.
So they made a cartoon villain.
I just meant the montage of all her previous husbands.
Oh, you're saying why did it have to be John Ritter?
Yeah. Because
if you can get John Ritter in an Admiral hat and a fake mustache, you fucking do it.
But it's like, it was clearly
that will show why she's obsessed with, what's his name again? Little Ben Healy.
It's a sight gag. It's such a throwaway joke.
I thought
that's a weird thing to get hung up on.
It was the start of like, all this stuff is like, now this movie's too far over the top and stupid for me. Like, the other one I thought was like kind of funny. This one I'm like, no.
Okay, that's interesting. So this lady wants to marry John Ritter. We established that. Junior at some point goes to the school nurse, right?
Well, hold on a minute.
Oh, okay.
Junior doesn't go to the nurse. Ben goes to the nurse because Murph gets up on the roof somehow and drops a fucking satellite dish on him.
Oh yeah, as
Another
revenge.
prank where someone would be dead. Instead, it lands halfway down John Ritter's body and he goes, "Oh, yoy," and falls over.
Yeah, I think I might have ran to the bathroom for this.
Oh my god!
I do not remember that.
He's picking him up from school, and then you see Murph on the
Does
roof,
it-
and he
Wait, Murph's trying to kill
He's trying to kill Junior,
Yeah,
but hits John
but
Ritter
since
instead.
John Ritter is taller than Junior, the satellite dish hits him first, and Junior's completely fine.
Yeah.
I'm laughing right now.
So we meet the
It was so
school
stupid.
nurse who has glasses and brown hair. Doesn't look like anyone we've ever seen before.
Yeah, because she's super cute.
Yeah, and
it's
actually,
it's ridiculous.
So let's explain. You guys want to explain? Because it took me about halfway through the movie to be like,
Seriously?
Is that I'm the whole time I'm thinking that looks like excuse me. I was like, that looks like the girl from the other movie, but that's too stupid to be the girl from the other movie.
Nope.
And then I don't know, 40 minutes in the movie, I'm like, I'm just gonna look it up. And then, yeah, it's the same actress that plays Flo.
Amy Yazbek, who
Yeah.
played Flo in the first movie and was, I think at this time, married to John Ritter in real life. They decided they still wanted her in the movie, so they
made her a good person.
They gave her brown hair and glasses, and she's nice this time, and she's cute and
This is another thing that I thought was stupid.
Completely unrecognizable, pretty much, from the other role.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they just figured that no one would notice.
I did not.
Alright, wait, you're only noticing this now that we're talking about it?
Yes, I did not notice this. I did not look it up either.
See?
Okay.
I'm fine with
I'm not
it.
the only one.
I'm fine with it.
I thought she was super cute, but I was also like, why did they get the same person? This is dumb.
I don't know why they would do that.
They're trying to make life is a circle. He's back together with this.
No, it's so not intentional. It's
Maybe
just
I was trying to give it that.
They were married at the time? It's just
Yeah.
well, let's make another movie together.
Well, I think the real thing that happened was,
that doesn't bother me at all.
the same thing with the writers. The studio, I was reading this, the studio didn't want to hire the same writers,
Yeah.
but they wanted to pump out another movie so quickly before, Junior got noticeably older, that they were just like, fuck it, we'll hire the same writers, and they're probably like, fuck it, let's just hire all the same people and just do it again.
Well,
What could go wrong?
And it worked.
maybe they're trying to say that, everyone only likes people that look the same. So, that LaWanda lady only likes guys that look like John Ritter, and John Ritter
That's just
only likes
dumb.
girls that look like Amy Yazbek.
I don't like it.
No, here's the thing. The only meta level that this movie has is when it's going between real animals and fake animals, as we established in the first one,
Yes.
and they bring back that aesthetic again.
That was,
They do.
okay, yeah. There are only two things that I thought were really funny in this movie, and that was one of them.
Okay, so John Ritter has the hots for the nurse. She's like, "No, I don't want to go out with you. Sorry."
She says,
She's like,
she says, I have a problem, is
Yeah.
what she literally
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
And you're like,
So they go home, and John Ritter introduces Junior to his new babysitter.
Oh, wait. Hold on. One more prank before we go. On to the next scene.
Before we go further into this movie.
Junior goes outside the nurse's office, and he's all mad at Annie because she's taking attention away from her.
Annie is
his
the nurse.
dad.
Yeah.
Annie's the nurse, sorry. And he's going to draw mustache on her face. So he goes and looks at her photo and goes, and the music's like, ba-na-na-na-na-na. And he's about to do it, and some weird little girl behind him is like, you better not do that. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And she's like, you better not. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And she's like, but you better not.
And then she literally
beats the shit out of him.
I was gonna say, doesn't she literally pull out the rug from under
Yeah.
him? Yeah.
She makes him fall flat in his face.
Yep.
And then he turns over and she draws a mustache on him. And you're like, who the fuck is this girl who just out-problemed the problem child?
That's Trixie, bitch.
In my notes, I'm still like, little girl at school, because I'm like, I've never seen this movie, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who
So
this is.
we meet Trixie, but that's all we learn about her at this time.
Yeah.
So John Ritter Ben has hired a babysitter because he is going out on a date with the lady that brought the cherry pie.
Yep.
Whose name is Debbie Klaukinski, but when she said it, I definitely thought she said Debbie Kokinski, and I was like, really? They're being that overt? Okay. But then later, they said it again, and I realized that was not the name.
Am I wrong, or is this babysitter wearing lederhosen?
She was wearing, like, a school
I thought it was like a schoolgirl outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It seemed dangerously German to me.
It had dangerously German. What's that mean?
Like Nazis?
No.
Dangerously
It's just
German.
very German.
Okay.
I don't know.
So...
I didn't think it was that German.
They go on a date, and because Junior's mad, he calls the lady's ex-husband and tips him off as to where the restaurant is.
And apparently he's some crazy Russian
No,
dude.
it's like a bad, like, the babysitter's the worst babysitter ever.
Yes.
And so, like, Junior gets into, like, enough of this.
Oh, yeah. I wrote down, they're watching this weird-ass nature documentary about pigs.
Pigs!
And the lines read out like, you're watching a nature documentary, and it's like, welcome to the wonderful world of pigs. Dirty, hungry, always horny. They're Mother Nature's clowns of the farm world.
What?
Which
all of
is
that.
so funny!
And it goes on from there, but that's all I wrote down. There's more.
There's more, and she's eating all the food, and then Junior tries to change it, and she's like, ugh, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was really weird.
It's super funny.
Okay, I thought that part was kind of funny, too.
So the crazy
I was
Russian...
watching this weird pig documentary.
The crazy Russian ex-husband busts up the date.
Wait, hold on. We've missed two things because there's an amazing sight gag with this thing. We have to rewind because they have a house guest. Oh, they don't have a house guest, but they've seen on TV Big Ben, Jack Warden, from the first movie,
the grandfather,
the John Ritter's dad, Junior's grandfather. Is selling like a franchising like VHS for his sports stars where he's like in a hot tub with two hot ladies, and John Ritter's like, oh, like this is pathetic. What's he doing? Who would even buy this? And then when Junior calls the husband, he has two things in his sad apartment. He's eating dog food out of a can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is important later.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I didn't notice that.
And behind him is the VHS from Big Ben's franchising sporting goods thing.
Yeah.
Starter kit.
Yeah.
And you later hear when Big Ben shows up that he's like, oh, it was a scam. I only ever sold one of those. So, yeah.
So it's the world's most pathetic man. He's like in a bathrobe, in his tighty whities, eating dog food.
Yeah.
Because this is a children's movie.
He shows up at the restaurant, still in his tighty whities, and
with a steel pipe, I believe.
Yes, he hits John Ritter in the head, and then John Ritter punches him back. But then the wife lady gets all hot and bothered by the
She's
fact...
like, you bully! Like, you hit my ex-husband!
Yeah, she gets mad at John Ritter, and then ends up going back with the ex-husband.
No, John Ritter has to drive them home while they make out.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're always the best in bed.
Which is ridiculous. So, anyways, while that fight is happening, we see that Junior's babysitter has invited over her scuzzy motorcycle boyfriend.
Yep.
And they start... hooking up in the master bedroom.
This is fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
Hold on, one minute. We got into the
Hold
problem.
on, let me count it down.
We got into the problem prank here.
Oh, sorry.
I know you guys are going into it, but I just want to call out every time I wrote down where they said they had batted the bone. So yeah, they're like
problem prank.
They're like, we're gonna go in the master bedroom. Get the fuck out of here, kid. And he like, as soon as they slam the door, he gets like an angry face and it goes, and then
what he does is found himself. He invented the LCD portable projector, where you could take live footage from a VHS camcorder and project it onto a house.
Yeah. I think that
none of this technology exists.
Hold on. There is a projector there that you see, and I think like they just Ben must have been like super rich or something all of a sudden, because I swear they had
nice.
Yeah, the house has like a pinball machine, like a it has like I don't know, some other video. I thought there was like an
Junior?
arcade thing. There's a pool table.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, maybe they just have all this technology lying around, and he
Junior
just
has a super, super sweet space shuttle bunk bed with an entire like console in the
Right.
front.
So
I
was
feel like you literally couldn't buy a projector, though.
I don't know.
mean,
You probably could
well,
buy.
yeah, there must have been because like a drive-in movie, like.
But that you wouldn't be able to put, like, it ran film. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to run a VHS camcorder
Yeah,
through it
that's true.
live.
That's true. You're probably right. Whatever.
And if you could, then you wouldn't have the cables to run it from the bedroom.
Technology.
Okay, you know what? This is
not
this
there.
is not important.
This is ruining the movie.
But they found a way to it would be like this would be a modern day like prank. Basically,
Yeah.
The babysitter and the boyfriend are fucking in the master bedroom. Junior has set up a camera and is projecting their sex tape basically out in front of the house. And the highest divorcee capital of the world,
All of a sudden.
there's
Just
tons
tall
of
guys.
horny dads
Yeah.
who have busted out the six packs and the lawn chairs and are cheering them on.
And it's not just dads, it's also like teenage boys and like younger boys.
Everyone's excited about this awful, awful thing.
It's horrible. Total aside, as we know, I was in the USC Trojan Marching Band, and it is lore that I wasn't around for any of this, but there's lore that the band is no longer allowed to stay in the city of San Francisco proper because at some point some band members projected a porn onto a high-rise building in San Francisco, and that's why they now have to stay in like the outskirts.
So, is this your case to exonerate the band because they were just showing scenes from Problem Child and not actual porn?
I don't care what people think about the band, but
You hear it,
yeah.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
I'm just saying
It was
that
just
back
Problem Child.
It's just Problem
Yeah.
Child too.
This apparently happened. It wasn't just Junior.
We're showing a
So
projection of a projection.
Action.
Maybe he got the idea after hearing about that because I think this was way before the 90s. It's like in the 80s. So there was a projector. Must have been.
Slideshow. Well, no, there was absolutely projectors, but they were running film.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Little Ben comes back and busts it up.
Yeah, let's skip ahead a little bit here. Big Ben shows up and he's gonna be in the same room as Junior.
Yeah,
He's
on bunk and he snores.
he's evading taxes.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's why he's hiding out. That's why he's there. Because he hates his son.
I just want to get to more pranks.
All right, fair enough.
But so the one design thing I will mention is that the whole movie I said already was in primary colors, but except for Big Ben, always wears all green, like
Yes.
money color.
Yep.
And noticeably clashing with the entire rest of the scenery and all the other people. So.
There's a very short scene where Junior is like stalking this little girl, Trixie, around the school, and he's like gonna shoot her with a slingshot, I guess.
Oh my gosh, this was like
They're doing like SEAL Team 6,
Yeah.
like clearing corners with slingshots.
But then she gets the drop on him and like has a fire hose in the school for some reason. Are there fire hoses in schools? Probably, yeah.
I mean, for fires, but this was like...
She turns it on and blasts him like all the way out the door, down the hallway.
This is some white-on-white crime here
Yeah.
with fire hoses.
Finally.
Oh boy.
Finally.
She like... Oh my god, I was just like, why would they do that?
Weirdly,
All imagery.
again, going back to the Michael Richards, Stanley Spadowski thing, there is a great fire hose scene in UHF, and it is very similar in this movie.
That's true. But that fire hose scene is way better.
That is. Because that fire hose scene is way unexpected. It's silly, you know.
Yeah.
But, so that happens.
And now, we bring ourselves to another Problem Child prank! Except this time, the music doesn't play, because I didn't write it down.
Oh.
But, so we come upon the Problem Child just wandering the streets of the city.
Oh my god. Okay, so there's already been some twins that were like trying to charge him like a fee to get in the neighborhood. Or whatever.
They're the twins of the obnoxious male neighbor.
Yep. And they've been meeting him this entire time, and they have an adorable lemonade stand.
Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still trying to be mean to him because they're just like, okay. Brief aside. A thing that we all said that we liked about the first movie was that, like, it was him being left out, that they gave him a reason for kind of being this bad kid. Eliz, you specifically were talking about.
Yeah.
He wasn't, when he was driving a tractor trailer through somebody else's, he was just misunderstood.
Uh-huh.
And this movie does try to make it so that everybody that he does something to has wronged him in some way.
Yes.
Everybody?
I said that they tried. I didn't say that they succeeded. But so these girls have been mean to him before, and they're being mean to him again, and they're selling lemonade. And they're like, you go refill it. And he's like, I'll go refill it. And do they play the music?
They don't play it.
Really?
Okay.
Oh.
So then he basically...
Because they'd rather
So you
play
see
something
Junior
else.
walk up with this big pitcher of lemonade, unzip his pants, and then it's just a piss, like it's just water going, like it's a pissing sound.
Yep.
For
There's like a
a minute, like,
montage.
yeah. And it's
so
just
tranquil scenes in the city.
It just cuts to like a couple doing a hula hoop.
Where they've cut out
And it cuts
all. They've cut out like all
of
other
the
sound
sounds,
except
and
for this
it's just
pee noise.
it's just piss.
I'm like,
It's
what is happening?
Fucking hilarious.
It cuts to like some people canoeing and like an ice cream man.
So funny.
Scenes.
It's so
No. I was like, okay, they're just trying to drag out the.
I feel like that it's very
The
like,
runtime here.
I feel like in my mind it's like it's almost Tim and Eric-y. Like,
I guess, but the other thing was like all the pranks in this sequel, I thought were all super predictable. So I was like, oh, he's gonna go pee in the lemonade.
But so the
Yeah.
lemonade one stands
but
out to me.
but you don't think there's gonna be 2 minutes of it just
No,
cutting around?
that's why I was like, this is stupid.
The lemonade one stood out to me because it was maybe the only prank of which there was no consequences. He did not get caught. Only the payoff was for him and him only because
Yeah, it was really
only he
weird.
knew
Oh,
about
wait,
it.
did the
That's
movie,
another thing that I was like, this
Did-
is unbelievable as well.
Did the movie forget that was their dad?
No, the dad just came and, he was like, $2. Okay, fine. He was really thirsty because he was working in the yard. He chugs the entire glass of lemonade and then just goes, that's some good lemonade.
He says, tangy.
Yeah, he was
tangy, yeah. And then he had no clue it was pee, and that just
made no
Junior
sense
laughing.
to me. I was like, first of all, the girls would probably be able to smell it just sitting there next to them. Yes.
I mean,
then
you
sound like a man who's
Yeah.
been around pictures of
look,
pee
I've
before.
drank a lot of pee, guys. It's immediately recognizable. No, I've never drank pee, but I would think that it would be.
You can see my face right now. I'm highly displeased. at
I would
this
think that it would
notion.
be immediately recognizable from.
Hey, listeners, tweet at us with your pee stories.
No, don't do that.
The pee was diluted with a little bit of lemonade
No.
that was left in the pitcher, and the ice.
Really, at the end of the
I-
day,
It's really
what's the
hot
difference between piss and
outside.
Crystal Light?
It's not going to taste like lemonade.
Really.
I'm assuming it's not going to taste like lemonade. That guy happily drank piss. He would have known immediately, and he just kept drinking.
You know what, Justin? It's none of your business to judge
Hey,
what other
you know what?
people do
No,
in
you
their
guys,
recreational time.
In a lot of ways, this man who happily drank piss is us watching these movies.
That's true. I took in 20 minutes of the movie, and I kept going.
Tangy.
Yeah.
Problem Child 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we get another LaWanda scene. She has now ingratiated herself with Big Ben.
Well, first, and I don't know why, like, I have a very strong opinion of this, or, like, memory of this, but, like, Junior, like, Jack Warden tries to, like, Jack Warden is, like, the filthy grandpa. Like Jack Warden is hilarious in this movie to me. Like, he is just, like, a money-grubbing, awful old man. And he, like, tries to go out for Junior, and Junior pulls out, like, nunchucks and, like, throws them out on the roof. But, into a tree. And then, for whatever reason, I remember, like, when, like, it was, like, a strong, like, nostalgic memory when he's in the tree and he's like, help me, little Ben, help me, little Ben, help me. I remember thinking that was the funniest thing ever.
Oh my god.
And then, so he's up in a tree and Lorraine Newman comes back and saves, like, pulls him down from the tree, and that's how she gets, like, and they come back to their houses completely redecorated as if it's like a President's Day sale at a Mazda dealership. It's just all USA, red, whites, and blues awfulness.
So,
But,
Yeah.
wait. The reason I take notes is because you guys skipped over about 50 problem child pranks.
so they go to the carnival.
No!
What?
You have
pranks
skipped
did we
so
skip?
far ahead.
Okay, well,
He almost kills a lady!
Woohoo.
The lady at the front door. He electrocutes
Oh,
the
yeah.
freaking-
Okay,
There's a,
you're right.
Ben goes at another
go ahead.
date,
Yeah.
and there's a montage of Ben getting ready for the date, where you won't believe what song they play during this montage. Wait for it. It's called Get Ready. Anyways, while he's getting ready to the song Get Ready, you see Junior, like, doing some stuff. He's, like, dealing with wires, doing all this crazy stuff, putting water on the doormat, and I'm like, oh god. Because he says something like, oh, as long as I hear the doorbell when she rings it, and he's like, oh, you will. And anyways, no, they don't. They're too busy playing Get Ready for the Get Ready montage.
Alright.
Anyways, this other lady walks up to the door, rings the doorbell, and gets crazy electrocuted. And when Ben opens the door, her hair is like super.
I have a photo of it. Don't worry.
Let's show the listeners the photo.
We'll tweet it out because it's hilarious. It's
She's like freaking out, and she's like, I just caught the flu, and then she leaves. But anyways, I thought that was really funny. Just kidding, I didn't think it was funny.
I was impressed by his knowledge of wires and electricity.
Yeah, he tried to kill another person.
That's right.
But
wait. There's a payoff to that because it is part of a science project.
God, that was.
Oh yeah.
The other thing I was thinking, excuse me, with all the bad to the bone things, if we go back to the horror movie version of this, what if it was like the Jaws score? Every time the problem child was like about to get you, it was
Could
like,
just be the Omen soundtrack.
People are like,
Sing it like in a minor
what's that
key
sound?
or something, yeah.
No, I can't do that. You're dead. Okay, that's what happens. Horror movie problem child. Let's do it. Okay, so then we go back to the school where Junior gets flipped off by Trixie, and she goes running away to hide, and he chases her around and finally finds her in the bathroom. But she pulls an M80 out of nowhere and lights it. Excuse me. And lights it. And they flush it down the toilet, I think.
Yeah. No, basically, like, he thinks that he has her, like, tricks her. Tricks is Trixie. And then she's like, no, you can't do this. This is my school. And he's like, yeah, says who? She's like, me and my M80. And then she lights it and then hands it to him. And he's like, this girl's crazy. And then he throws it into the toilet. And then the principal from Back to the Future, the sweatiest man on the planet.
The teacher.
They're playing... What song are they playing, Justin?
They're playing the song Wild Child again, which they used in the first movie.
Yeah.
Snooze.
Yep. And he is shuffling as if he has to take a massive shit.
Yep.
And indeed, and so there's this shot of him, like, hurrying past people because he has diarrhea for reasons, and cutting to pipes of where the M80 is going.
Yep.
And then he gets into the stall, and when he sits down, he says aloud to himself, "This is gonna feel so good."
And then he dies, is what happens.
and then he's sitting on the toilet. The M80 explodes. There's a geyser of water in his. There's an explosion, and his shoes are left behind.
Yeah, you see his feet like disappear, and then he comes back down. And then he has like a really relieved, like, that was fucking great look on his face. So I was like, Okay.
You never use a bidet, they're great.
No, I have not.
You will be converted. Okay. So...
Wait, you went to Japan and used fancy Japanese toilets and you never used the
Nope,
water
didn't
spraying
do it.
technology?
Didn't do it.
Oh my god.
Too
Talk
weird.
about a missed opportunity. Ugh.
No.
Missed.
Did you even go to Japan if you didn't play with all the controls on a Japanese toilet?
Alright,
Okay, so now we're back to where you guys were at the carnival. Boom.
Okay.
Well, what happens at the carnival?
Okay. So there's again a thing that I am surprised that this movie did, where John Ritter's still trying to be a good dad. He's like, you know what? Like, he's just not getting the attention that he needs. Like, that's why he's acting out. Like, so they're continuing a lot of the things that they could have easily thrown away from the first one that I thought that they would. Like, as a sequel, those characters are remaining true. I do commend them for that. It does make sense. So John Ritter's like, you know what? No more dates. I'm going to take Junior out on a day together. But they can't film all of it because they can only afford one location. So Junior's like, wow, Dad! Like, a ball game and, like, all these other things. He's like, well, we're not going to see any of that. We're at a carnival now.
Yep.
And then Junior is not tall enough to get on this crazy tilt-a-whirl ride.
Mm-hmm.
Then... What is his name?
Murph.
I was like, Duff? Duffy?
Derp.
Derp? Murph is...
As is Trixie, wearing ridiculous platform shoes.
Yes. And then so they're on this tilt-a-whirl, and Junior's like, I know what I'll do.
I'll kill some people.
I'll find another fake knob so I can
knobs.
crank this shit up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the scene where I was watching it. I texted Justin and I was like, I just cried because I was laughing so hard. Because I have a problem, guys. And the problem is that I find fake vomit hilarious. I really like that Will Ferrell SNL thing where he's on the rotating platform and just starts like spewing like vomit like out of like it's like not even like it's the type of projectile vomiting where like The Exorcist looks artful where it's just like a tube up a sleeve and like it's just going out, and again it's like the piss scene where it's about 3 minutes long and so this thing starts spinning super crazy. Everyone's acting real annoying. And they're all basically in green screen, like, on this thing. And so it just cuts to all these profile shots of these people faking to throw up with a hose behind them that's just shooting out, like, Malta-meal. And it's like, it's this white gravy, that's just not vomit. And then it's just all these shots of it, like, plopping on other people's faces.
Yeah.
And then it just starts spreading to everyone in the carnival. And I was crying. It was so fucking funny to me.
So much vomit. Like, it shows his enemies vomiting, but then random people start vomiting. And then the people who get vomited on that are just standing, like, in the carnival, they vomit when they get vomited on. It's
like there's
I'm shaking my head.
There's this scene in Family Guy where like
it was like that Family Guy
it was like that's what is that where that Family Guy scene comes from? Because like this it was I knew it was not funny. I felt so dirty for laughing at it, and I was in tears.
It's too juvenile.
And then I don't think there was
funny.
any consequence for this one either, actually. Did the dad figure out it was him or
yeah,
no?
he did. He was
he did? Okay.
yeah.
And then stop doing this.
And then they had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
They actually had one of the funnier in character, like, actual sweet moments where he's like, I'll promise to be better, and he's like, nope, that was too quick. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, you need to think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go home from the carnival, and that's when we find that Lawanda has redecorated and is on Big Ben is in cahoots with her now to try and marry her off to Little Ben.
Yep.
Junior's room, sadly, has been redecorated back to the clown room.
I feel like I want to mention that Junior,
God.
like, pretends to, like, after that whole nice talk, like, he sees, like, this girl's kind of evil, knocks a flower off of, like, a table, and then we get this really weird scene where Lorraine Newman is basically in an all-red dress and a push-up bra with, like half, like, what do you call those gloves? Gloves that go up to her, basically up her forearm.
Yeah.
And so she walks over to, like, with a dust devil to clean up this rose. And it's this really weird scene where it's just her ass
Yeah.
bent over, sexily vacuuming.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
It's a very
And it
weird
was a
scene.
bedazzled handheld vacuum.
Yes. Yeah. And she's like, I know how to seduce this man. Like, I can clean up after his problem child.
But she starts kind of putting the idea into John Ritter's head that Junior needs a mom, and that's why he's having so many problems.
Yes.
Yeah. And so now we're up to one of my favorite parts of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Junior said that he wasn't going to do any more problems, no more problems,
No more problems.
no more problems, no more pranks, he decides that he's going to hypnotize Big Ben's dog Nippy. to
Nippy. Oh, Nippy. I just, Jack Warden's voice is funny.
He's going to hypnotize the dog and tell it to attack only Lawanda. So he goes to the whole,
You are getting
very sleepy.
Yeah, look at this.
This is another thing where I think that me and my brother made jokes hypnotizing each other like this scene.
So this was a major film for you growing up.
I think it was. I remember so much of it.
Yeah, I totally missed this.
Yeah.
Missed it. But he hypnotizes the dog, tells him what to do, and he's like, all right, on the count of 3, you're going to wake up and go attack her. And he's like, 1, 2, 3. And the dog just sits there. And then he's like,
At this point, it's still a real dog.
Yeah.
At this point, still a real
It's a real dog. He's like, And he goes, all right, on count 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then he touches the dog and it's turned into a taxidermy fake dog. And
much,
he's like,
much like the bear. Much like the bear in
Yeah.
the first movie. They've carried over the meta animals.
Yeah,
jokes.
he kind of goes oh, what? And then he picks it up and just throws it. Throws it in the bushes.
It's really funny.
And I was like, what the fuck? Did he just kill that dog?
He just paralyzed that dog.
What? So that was really funny. And so he decides he has to do something else. And so this is when he goes up to his room, sees it's still a clown room, and that really pisses him off. And you know what happens
I
when
think that's when he says, the bitch must pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what happens when the problem child gets pissed off?
Nino Peligroso. Actually, I'd ask you before we started, because now we've been doing this, I would ask you to look up the names of this movie in other countries. And now that we're getting into other problems, I think we should start using them when we get to these problem child pranks.
Episode.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Spanish countries...
You do it in situation for the next problem child.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, this is when we get another adorable criatura.
Oh my god,
Prank.
Ray, show it to me. Adorable criatura.
I don't think
two.
they say adorable.
That's Argentina. Where's
Junior
actual
Le
Spanish?
Terrible
Mexico.
2.
You think they say adorable criatura 2? Dos?
Adorable.
That's what I said, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
Well, because
let me
you
speak
were
the
like,
Spanish that I know.
All right,
I
guys.
don't know it, but
I take full responsibility for this bit failing. Let's leave it on the side of the road and finish this up.
this is more real Spanish.
Nope,
Este chico
we're not
es
getting
un
into it.
demonio.
Not getting into it.
Okay?
Not getting into it.
You're saying they don't speak
All right,
real Spanish in Mexico?
So the weird thing that happens here is that Junior has a dollhouse filled with cockroaches.
It's a roast motel.
out of nowhere.
Out of
this was
nowhere.
not
And he's
set up
like,
earlier.
hey boys, what are you doing for dinner? And so he basically fucks up Lawanda's dinner by putting a bunch of roaches in there.
It was gross.
And then there's kind of an insane, the director thought it would be a cool idea to shoot the glass table
glass
from
table,
underneath
yeah.
it. But then they're standing on it somehow magically. There's just a lot of bugs running around. And then but John Ritter's fed up at this point. He's like, you can't, he can't see. At this point, Lawanda has threatened Junior multiple times. She threatened him with a knife.
Boarding school in Baghdad?
Boarding school in Baghdad, and told him that he was gonna cut him off at the knees and burying him in the ground. These are two things that this woman has said. So
Yikes.
Junior's she's actually evil. But at this point, John Ritter thinks that, you know what, I'm not getting through to this. So he has this whole scene where he's like, I failed as a father. And it's it's him acting, really going for it. But really one of the funniest things about it is he still has, they've glued like bugs that you buy at a museum gift, like a zoo gift shop. All the other bugs were real. Super, super real, disturbingly real. It's blue cheese. And he has, like, his back is just covered with bugs. And so him and Lorraine Newman are having this, he's like, I failed as a father. He's having this really serious conversation. And he's wearing this bedazzled, like, suit jacket that's covered with, like...
cockroaches.
It's
toy
terrible.
bugs. Toy bugs.
Yeah.
Why don't we just kind of push forward here to a couple big reveals just to move things along.
Yep.
At the parent-teacher night, we learn that Trixie is the real problem that Annie has.
That's right.
Trixie is her daughter.
I do want to say that Trixie ruins the Democracy puppet show that is happening at Back to School night or whatever. And one of the puppets, inexplicably, for 5 seconds, is voiced by June Foray, who is like the legendary voice actress that just passed away that did Rocky and...
dang.
What's her name? The Russian lady
That's
from
cool.
Rocky and
I
Bullwinkle.
didn't see that.
Natasha,
Magica De Spell, the grandmother in Tweety Bird and... anyways, super famous voice actress. I was like, wow, that puppet sounds really familiar. And I looked, and when the credits rolled, I was like, wow, that's a super famous voice actress that they got for 5 seconds of puppet dialogue.
Yeah.
But anyways, Trixie takes over the puppets and says a bunch of horrible things, and that's the reveal that she's Annie's daughter.
Has John Ritter asked his question yet at this point?
No, that's right after this.
That's right after this?
Yeah.
I feel like that's when he, like, understands Annie, though, right?
He tries to tell Annie as she's running away with Trixie, like, hey...
that's right! And then another one of my favorite things happens. But one thing I want to mention is that we see, like, the science projects, and one of the things that Junior has done is make a science project that is basically the electric chair execution of the Bowtie Killer. Also... Happy National Bowtie Day.
Yes. Today happens to be hashtag National Bowtie Day.
Yeah.
But we did, in the deleted scenes from the first movie that were shown on the TV version only, there's a scene of Michael Richards, like, being scared and fantasizing about being in the electric chair. And so, this Junior Science Project is a little fake, like, Ken doll that looks like the Bowtie Killer being electrocuted.
And it goes, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, as it, like, dies.
It's super fucked up. It's great.
Fucked up, yeah.
Okay, so John Ritter realizes that Annie has the same problem that he does as parents, that they can't really go anywhere without their kids fucking up their lives.
But he still proposes to Lawanda for
so then there's this great, like, so last time we were saying, I don't think the narration will continue. Narration definitely continues. Throughout this entire movie. But in this scene, like Junior narrates something, and then it cuts to John Ritter, and he's like, like, Annie's so sweet. Like, so it's like he's doing his own narration.
Narration montage.
Yeah, narration montage. They're all going to bed, and it's all the Healy boys, like, thinking, like, their thoughts are really going to bed, and John Ritter is just like, yeah, but Lawanda will actually go out with me.
Yeah, right.
And then Jack Warden's like, I hope he marries that rich bitch. And, like, they're all, I gotta get out of this house. Actually, this is when Jack Warden finds the frozen Nippy.
Yeah. And he's like, Nippy? What the hell happened to you?
So
I thought that narration bit was actually hilarious.
Stupid.
I did write that down as well. So when, I can't even remember, how does the proposal happen?
He just
She says that a dad can do a lot of things, but a mom is that needs to do the emotional support type thing.
Okay.
And he just says, like, I have a question for you. And then it cuts to another hilarious scene.
Yeah.
When he's telling Junior that they're going to get married, I did write down his quotes that he said, 3 men living in a house together is a mess. It's unnatural. I was like, unnatural?
But then literally the next scene does have a homosexual couple in it.
Oh my god. That was the other thing that I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
The rest of it was like...
Yeah.
out of nowhere, these, like, animal control...
No, it's not out of nowhere because it's set up in that, like, Lawanda's like, we have a jillion things to do today. We gotta do this, this, and this. And then we need to get a blood test.
Well, yeah, but it was kind of out of nowhere, because they leave, and then, like, out of nowhere, an animal control van pulls up.
Oh no, there's somebody with rabies outside.
He's like, we're looking for dogs with rabies or something. But
it weirdly turns out that animal control is a scam to advertise
the
dog food.
Well, yeah, kind of.
It's...
I thought
But
it
hold on,
was.
they walk up to the door and they ring the doorbell, and like while they're waiting for Junior to answer the door, it's two guys.
It's two regular looking white dudes.
It's two guys, and the one guy like turns and starts caressing the other guy, and the guy's like, "Stop it, not now."
Yeah.
Like totally random, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Why not?
I mean,
awesome.
it was just super random.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny. But then, yeah, they show Junior brings out Nippy.
And is like, can you fix this dog?
Yeah, and because they do this whole presentation like, chow down, dog food is the best dog food. And they put it in a bowl, and as soon as they put it in the bowl, Nippy like comes back to life.
And then takes a giant novelty shake.
And
also
twice as large as the dog. Yeah.
And they're also, like, the whole, like, chow down thing is, like, they're doing like a vaudeville type tonic show for this dog food. And they're like,
weird.
It's chicken, beef, or horse.
Yeah. But apparently, even though they're advertising the dog food, they also are doing real animal control stuff too, because they have a vial.
That's why I didn't think it was them like fucking it up. I was just like, no, they knew exactly what that dog needed. Was this dog food? It brought it back to life. Anyway, it's so not important.
Junior steals the vial of rabies infected dog blood. And we never see this, but apparently somehow he has it switched with Lawanda's
It
blood
comes to a
sample.
scientist, and he's like John Healy looks good to me. Like he's like, I don't know what it's like. He's looking at slides in a microscope, and he's like, yep, blood. Like that's blood. And then he's like, Lawanda, do more, not again. As if, do you need a blood test to get married?
You used to.
Oh,
And
yeah,
maybe in
also
some
her blood
states
was
you
like
make-
cartoon worms with teeth.
Yeah, and then so he looks into it, and then there's like, it's like like a Monty Python, like,
Yeah, it was like
animated like rabies thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my god, like this is an emergency. Like he's a really bad actor, and so they have to go
arrest or
yeah. And so I think Lawanda has rabies. She's at her bachelorette party. She thinks that the dog catchers who were from the health department are strippers. And she has a bunch of cream on her mouth from a cake that she bit into.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, she's already foaming at the mouth. Like, we better take her away.
Yeah, and they take her to the hospital.
And they're like, and one thing that she screams is, you can't do this to me. I'm rich.
Yeah. So they take her to the hospital, and she's just kind of like there.
Okay, I think it's me skipping ahead to this again, but it is it's so fucking weird, and that's why I love it. Where the other guy in the hospital, are we there yet? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, we're in the hospital.
Okay.
This is another.
So there's a guy at the hospital
In the room
who's
next door.
Yeah, in the room next door. He's talking to his girlfriend. He's like, I'm gonna be somebody. I'm gonna be someone that people are gonna remember. I'm gonna have the biggest nose in the world.
Junior overhears this, and then it's like,
Yeah,
and he switches.
It does bad to the bone again for reals. I wrote
He
it down.
switches the two medical charts so that
But, like, I
Lawanda.
love the justification of this guy. Like, I'm gonna be somebody.
I'm gonna be famous.
Biggest nose
It's
in the world.
so insane.
So
Like,
while Lawanda is bedridden and she insists that the wedding will not be postponed, this is all happening in the wedding's on Friday and they just met several days prior. Junior and Ben go to dinner at a pizza restaurant where Annie and Trixie also happen to be eating, so they decide to share a table.
Aww.
And then also Gilbert Gottfried is eating there with some bimbo, and so Trixie and Junior start throwing meatballs at him, and they throw a meatball in his date's cleavage, and a food fight breaks out across the entire restaurant.
And it looks like a food fight that no one is enjoying. Like, the way it's being shot out, it's just like, oh god, no, like, just make it stop. Like, nobody's having fun.
Yeah.
And they get kicked out, and on the way out, Trixie and Junior kind of have a little moment where they apologize to each other.
And they both try very, very hard not to say the word specifically parent trap. But exactly what they're doing is the parent trap.
Yep.
Yeah, but I thought, actually, when they finally made amends and paired up, I actually thought it was, like, really cute and one of the better parts of the movie. Like, I thought the girl was really good. Like, the little girl... The little girl actress was just, like, so cute and, to me, more natural than Junior has maybe ever been in the two movies thus far. She was great. They decide to pair up. So, hey, it seems like your mom really likes my dad and vice versa, and they both seem nice and better than Lawanda, so we should definitely make this happen.
So there's a very quick scene of Luana waking up from her surgery and seeing that she has
the world's largest nose.
Yeah.
And then the very next scene, Trixie's coming over super late at night over to Junior's place so that they can try to figure out how to get their parents together. And basically they run off to Love Rock, which I don't know if we've even talked about.
We talked about the Love Rock a little bit. It's like we see it in one of the school scenes. It was kind of introduced like when we first got to the town in that whole like road trip sequence.
Right.
It looks like a world's largest ball of twine type
It's
of
like
like
their
roadside
claim to
attraction.
fame.
It kind of looks like a giant gray golf ball with a heart, like
a heart geode. Weird thing.
geode.
Yeah.
But so the civics lesson's like, oh, it's the Love Rock. Like it grants like love related wishes. So they believe in it. They run away in the middle of the night to go there and wish for their parents to fall in love.
It was kind of a sweet scene.
It's sweet, and then it's
They fall asleep. The parents in the morning realize they're not there. They freak out. They start driving around town. They find them. They're not even that mad because it's so cute. But it's a wedding day.
But there's a moment where both the kids think that the wish came true.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, well, like we're gonna go our separate ways now. And like it's this really kind of incredible. The looks on their faces, like the best acting from both of them in any of the scenes where it's like, oh no, like it didn't happen.
Dang,
like
the wedding's still happening.
Like our wedding's still happening, and so like there's a moment where they think that their wish came true, and it's all sunlit and natural and beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you see like these kids like grow up in a way that's like devastating a little bit.
By the way, we all recently went hiking at a place called Hurt Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody made any wishes that I know of.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're at the wedding, and Junior's all like, oh gosh, haven't you seen your bride yet? And Ben is, like, oh, you can't see the bride before the wedding day? And he's like, fuck, my plan's not going to work.
His big nose plan.
Yeah, his big nose plan. So then we're at the wedding, Luana's walking down the aisle, and Junior plans to trip her so that like she falls and the veil will come off her face. And it does, and she turns around and surprise! Looks totally normal because she spent like
her line is
$400,000.
she said, "You'd be surprised what double overtime super special plastic surgery would do."
She specifically said that it cost $380,000.
Yeah,
apparently
something crazy. Yeah,
but even so, I mean, I not to nitpick. Neither surgery would have healed fast enough. Like the first one,
everyone would be dead in this movie.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Luanda is about to die herself, actually. So.
Yeah. So Trixie, you would go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so the wedding's about to go off, but wait! Trixie shows up driving a huge ass bulldozer out of nowhere that's carrying the Love Rock, and she drops it down the aisle and it starts rolling down like the Indiana Jones giant stone.
And Luanda, much like the crew in Prometheus, doesn't know how to get out of the way of this thing.
Well, she actually jumps in front of it and she's like,
"Oh, that's right."
Well, I don't know what she says, but I imagined it was like, "I'm too rich for this," and she puts out her hand and just gets totally crushed by it.
Yep,
dead. I assumed she was dead.
I thought it was like, for some reason I remember her being like Looney Tunes flat.
Well, she like had sunk into the...
Well, later you see, that the
whatever,
grass was collapsible.
Stupid.
One of my favorite lines was when Annie runs up to Trixie and says, "How many times have I told you not to operate heavy machinery?" But I forget
Annie and Ben
why.
kiss, that's pretty much what
But why did he realize he shouldn't marry Luanda? When did that, like...
because she was saying that she said all the shit that she was saying to Junior in front of him.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was like, I hate kids, I hate you.
Yeah.
Die in a fire,
Got it.
If I said die in a fire every episode, I think I might.
Maybe.
Probably. So yeah, the wedding's off.
Oh my god. Sorry.
The wedding's off. Big Ben hits on Luanda and says he loves her, and then they get
make
together.
out. Gross.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So prom
Was
shout
that
out
how it ended?
Yeah,
That's how it ends.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's some
so
stupid song called Saved by Love that plays, which is not an original. I was hoping it was an original.
Aw.
worse than the Beach Boys song? No.
So I would say
Pretty bad. No, the Beach Boys one is bad.
I know. I think Justin's going to disagree, but I think I prefer this movie to the first one.
I do too.
Really like Trixie a lot. And I thought the relationship between her and Junior was sweet. And I liked that the film was no longer having an identity crisis over, like, what should the tone of this movie be? They were just like, you know what? It's gonna be over the top. We're just gonna focus on the pranks and the stuff that people liked about the first movie. We're not gonna really try to be, as all over the place.
And and weirdly, as sequels go, like, their relationship does evolve.
Yeah.
Like, it takes off where they left off and continues it, and they grow as people and as characters.
Well, and it makes sense because Junior can almost be worse with the pranks because this time he knows for sure that him and his dad are together forever.
Yep.
There's no longer that looming, is he going to send me back? Is he going to get rid of me? That's off the table now. So Junior can actually, in a way, be worse, because...
Although Jack Warden does say, just leave him by the side of the road.
Yeah.
And then he goes, that's a cop-out, Dad!
I don't know. I just thought that the pranks this time around were not as funny. They were super predictable and not as inventive, and I just, I don't know, they went on too long or over the top, and I just, every time I was like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen. And so I was never
Sometimes
surprised.
I thought the length that it went on was the joke. Sometimes I thought,
I guess, but when you're bored, like
the pee,
great.
the pee and the vomit. And maybe I'm just not
the
mature.
vomit thing, I don't know. I typed, maybe if I saw this in middle school, I would have been like, this is the funniest
They're taking
shit.
their time. It's Lynchian.
Oh, God. Don't even...
Sweeping the floor.
Don't even bring David Lynch into this.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love Twin Peaks. I love David Lynch.
I love Twin Peaks and I love David Lynch, and I realized that I had a real fondness for this movie. I didn't remember any of it, but when I started watching it, I remembered watching it a lot, and I think I watched it with my grandma and my aunt. If I remember specifically, my Aunt Joanne, one of her favorite lines in this movie is when Trixie's like, I'll make you wish you'd never been born. Which is a thing that she says when she's been shoved into a toilet.
So in the first movie, Flo is the only real female character that we get. And she's horrible. In this movie, LaWanda fills that role and is horrible and is pretty much exactly like how Flo used to be. But you get a positive female character with Annie to kind of counterbalance that a little bit. And
Plus a woman who wants to fuck a pie.
Yeah.
I was like, all the female characters are bad except for Annie.
Yeah, so at least now you get Annie to show that this
Not
franchise...
Yeah.
Annie and Trixie are better female characters than Flo and LaWanda, so at least you have that to counterbalance it a little bit.
Yeah.
So...
I just...
Hey, Justin.
I didn't like
Good
it.
news. All downhill from here, because there's no way... Although, Prom Child 3, same director.
Okay.
More of the
I don't
same.
think it's the same director.
I think
but,
it is.
I think he's the producer.
So do you want to read any more of the weird languages? Or
No,
I
I saw the list.
They're not funny?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they're funny. But
Read us
you
the
guys are gonna-
title of the third movie, and we will try to guess.
So this movie came out, unfortunately, the same day as Terminator 2.
Dun, 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 dun.
So it did really horribly at the box office, but there's still one more.
Oh, another
movie.
kind of weird thing is that... Is it Universal, right? Yeah, Universal sued the kid, Michael Oliver, and said that he had, under duress, negotiated a better contract, and then once the movie didn't do as well, they tried to say, well, we didn't really want him to pay that much, and they tried to get half the movie back, and or half the money back, and I could not find the results of this lawsuit, but there was a really sad quote in the newspaper of the mom being like, I don't know how to explain to my son because all he just keeps saying is, they said I did a good job, why are they suing me?
That being said, it seems like Justin wants to get half this movie back.
Yeah. I'm upset about it. So anyways, there is a third movie, and it's called Problem Child 3, Junior in Love.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, Tyler, I'm assuming you've seen this movie.
I have not seen Problem Child 3.
Can you tell us how many years have elapsed, or should we not?
Oh, this one came out in 95, and the other one was 91.
Okay, so 4 years, so that would put him in middle school. Okay, you can think you're in love in middle school, I guess.
Do you think that he's gonna... Well, I guess now you can't. I was like, was he gonna fall in love with Trixie? But now they're gonna be like brother-sister.
Yeah, they're more
So,
of a brother-sister. And also, in all this, there was many scenes where I thought they were kind of the same age, but then when they're walking together, there's just one scene where they're
Trixie's
side by
way
side.
younger.
She is much younger than
that's
him.
true.
So I think that's a brother-sister relationship, and he's a little protective of her. So I hope she's back. I don't know. She will
maybe
be, but-
Junior starts to fall in love, and now Ben is going to be the problem because he's like, my
He's the
son
problem
doesn't want to
dad.
hang out with me anymore.
Do we even know if John Ritter's in it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, problem Ben.
I'm going to guess no because
I'm gonna guess no as
this
well.
last movie did not do as well. So I'm going to say...
No, John Ritter.
I'm going to say a completely new cast.
Except for the kid, right?
Like
I don't know. The kid... It depends if they want to age up the kid and keep...
That's
the
true, but if
continuity
there was
or-
like a lawsuit, then maybe they won't even have him back.
Yeah, if there was a lawsuit, then I'm going to say that it's a new kid.
I-
New problem child.
I don't know. There's something about like this writing team had written a lot of movies that I really liked, and this movie is really, really childish and really, really dumb. But I can see there's a lot of things that I really loved about it, and I remember loving about it as a kid. And like I think that there's actually some like almost alternative comedy stuff in here that are like the roots of it in 91.
I don't think they had enough time to write jokes like that. They were just like, we need another movie! Fart jokes! How many times can we play Bad to the Bone? Let's have him drink pee. Let's have him blow someone up. Let's have him puke. It's like all the basic, like, dumbest jokes you can think of.
I just think that edit of that vomit scene is so
I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta say, I really liked the production and the art design. It was, like, crazy detailed for really no reason. Like, I mean, it doesn't...
It's heightened. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like the neighborhood in Edward Scissorhands, almost. Like, that's more pastel. But, you know, like, the whole neighborhood is weirdly stylized.
They're really good friends with Tim Burton. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they after this they wrote the script for Ed Wood, and then Tim Burton made Ed Wood.
Yeah.
They wrote the script for Big Eyes. Like they were supposed to direct Big Eyes.
Interesting.
And then 3 years after this, I believe Larry Flint got an Oscar nomination for the script.
Yeah. Probably because of all the fart jokes. The People versus Larry Fart.
Okay.
I think I'm wrong with that. All right. Well, now we're super long.
This is
so
the longest
longest
episode ever.
We should wrap that up.
Yeah. Well, you go.
Happy #National Bowtie Day again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please follow us on Twitter at Sequel Rights and like us on Facebook, Sequel Rights on Facebook.
Rate us on iTunes. Give us 5 stars because we're desperate.
Email us at sequelrights@gmail.com, and I just want to say thank you to my brother Jordan Camps for the music at the top of the show. And thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.